Today, I want to look at something. This is a common question I hear, and I see it all the time, and I get the answer wrong on this at times. But basically, what happens to the LFE when we start folding Dolby Atmos down? We're going to take a look at that. Before we jump into that, first of all, I just want to say thanks for coming by. Thanks for checking out the video. Also want to let you know that I have some affiliate links down below. If you click on those and follow them, I appreciate it because it helps support me, helps support the channel. I've got some templates down there available you might be interested in if you are working in Pro Tools. And then the other thing I just want to mention is I do provide one-on-one consulting and training and just Dolby Atmos advice if you are looking for that. I know I've helped out a lot of people on that over the last couple of years, but there's a link down there below if you want to do that as well. So let's take a look at this. Before we really explore this, just to help you understand what's going on here, I have signal generator with pink noise, which we can see right here. If I open up an EQ and filter that pink noise, you can see it gets filtered and we get that little roll off. So we're not going to filter this right now though. So there's two things we want to look at today. Number one is which fold downs does the LFE actually appear in? So what I've done is I've set up basically the primary re-renders and formats with Atmos that we're going to worry about. So we've got the 2.0 direct in there. I did the standard 2.0 re-render. There's a 5.1 re-render. I did a 7.1 re-render. And then we've got our binaural, which is going to be very important for us with Atmos. And then I've also got Apple Spatial Audio with the Audio Movers binaural plugin doing the stuff that it has to do to make that happen. So the first question is, who gets the LFE? I've got this signal right now. It is routed directly to the LFE. So I'm going to unmute that, and we can see right away we have level in some places. I put Insight on most of these because we want to look at a few things. So 5.1 re-render, if I open that up, we can see in the meters, LFE goes to the 5.1, as I would expect, because it's 5.1. The .1 is LFE. If we look at the 2.0 direct and the 2.0 re-render, there is no LFE because it's a 2.0. If there was an LFE there, they would be 2.1, but those don't get LFE. 7.1 re-render, it has the LFE, again, as expected, because it's 7.1. Now, when we go to the binaural, there's signal there, which means we've got LFE, because that's the only thing going on. If I mute that signal up there, we lose everything. But we can see there is signal in our LFE, and it is going to the binaural. Same thing with spatial audio. There's signal there. But maybe you've noticed something interesting about the pink noise that we're sending. So if we go up to the 5.1 re-render, the frequency analyzer here, the spectrum analyzer, whatever you want to call it, it's full range. It has the full signal that we're sending to the LFE. If I turn on that EQ on the signal to filter it, because the best practice with Dolby Atmos is to filter your LFE at around 120 hertz. I think that's where I've got this. Yeah, 120 hertz. That's the best practice, is filter the LFE. When we open up the 5.1 re-render and the 7.1 re-render, if I turn off that filter, it's a full range signal going to those LFEs. So there's the 7.1, there's the 5.1 again. Watch what happens, though, when we go to the Dolby binaural. Now, the LFE is filtered, just as part of the re-render. Not sure why they do that, but that's something that probably should be aware of. Now, if I turn on the filter that I would probably put on the LFE, you can see it takes a little bit off. Not sure what's going on here above 500 hertz, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Maybe that's something to explore another time. Now, if we look at our spatial audio from Apple, again, they filter the LFE. It's a pretty gentle filter. I mean, if I turn on my filter for the LFE, now we get a much bigger drop, but as part of the spatial audio processing that Apple does, they also filter the LFE. So what does all of this mean? The LFE basically goes to every re-render except for the 2.0 Direct and the 2.0 re-render. All of the other sort of re-renders out there that really matter for Dolby Atmos right now, the binaural and spatial audio, they include the LFE. So that's something that you should definitely keep in mind when you're mixing. LFE is going to matter even for those headphone formats. But what's interesting to me, though, is this filtering that happens. There's no filtering as a part of the re-render process for the 5.1 re-render or the 7.1 re-render, but the binaural and the spatial audio are filtered. And the problem with that I see is anytime you're doing any sort of filtering, you're messing with phase. So that means that there is something happening to the phase just as part of the re-render process for those headphone formats. And then if you are following the best practices that Dolby recommends, where you are filtering your LFE, you're adding more on top of that. So something to keep in mind, and make sure you are checking your LFE. Like, make sure you are listening in headphones, make sure you are listening in speakers, and make sure you're happy with the results you're getting. So that's the LFE. That's where it is going. I hope that answers your questions. I know I have gotten this wrong in the past when people have asked about this. So I thought, hey, let's just take a look and see exactly what happens for ourselves. And there you go. If you've got Dolby Atmos questions, please leave a comment down below. But thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.